I feel so torn with this album. Hello and welcome back. You're with me.
I see snap.
Late as ever again. Today we're diving into the realm of electronic music. My forte, I would say, with the iconic duo Justice, consisting of Gaspard Auger and Xavier de Rosnay, with their unique blend of French house, electro and rock influences, since bursting onto the scene with their debut album Cross in 2007. God, I'm old. Carving out a space with their unmistakable style. As someone who is big into the electronic scene, that album cemented myself as a fan. It had everything you could possibly want from house. Well, French house anyway. And being quite influential in that space as a result. It was energetic, raw. I want to say it was quite crunchy. Maybe that's the problem with having such an amazing first album. Everything that comes after is it's okay. And there was some bangers after this, especially with Women Worldwide, but nothing as consistent as Cross. Now back to their latest release, Hyperdrama. So much drama. But does their new offering live up to the legacy of their past work? Yeah and no. End of review. Thanks for watching. Kidding, of course. The album is definitely falling back into that gritty feel that I loved. It's the thing for me that made Justice. Take, for example, the song Generator. Right off the bat, you hear that sound. And you know the sound that I'm talking about. This gravelly synth bass and this grainy lead, driven by this punchy kick and these sudden cuts throughout the song, really adds this like Justice flavor, and these really nice sounds that pop in here and there, just really enhancing the spectrum of sound and space. And then the song builds up with these melodramatic strings, and then this really satisfying drop just brings all that grit back in. Similar with the song Incognito, slightly misleading at the beginning, but bringing the Justice back with this bass and these vocals. And I think I'm missing more of this throughout the album. The album just feels like it's filled with mediocre songs that don't live up to that hype, many of them being songs with features. For example, the opening song Neverender, featuring Tame Impala aka Kevin Parker, who seems to be on everything at the moment, and it's not hard to see why him as a producer is brilliant and a musician to boot. This song to me doesn't feel like Justice featuring Tame Impala. It feels like Tame Impala featuring Justice. I go through phases where I enjoy Kevin's voice, and in this particular moment I don't. The song feels quite flat in terms of excitement for me. Melodically and instrumentation is pretty good though. It's nice, it's smooth. Comparing this song to One Night All Night, again featuring Tame Impala, but feels like a Justice song this time. Feeling slightly darker in tone, and vocally slightly more interesting, experimenting with more vocal effects on his voice. I wouldn't say it was better, but it definitely makes for a more engaging track. The features on the first half of the track do seem to be the weakest, unfortunately, with RIMON and the Flints, both songs feeling slightly washed out and generic. Afterimage feeling musically quite uninteresting, feeling like they tried to make way more space for her vocals, resulting in a more empty and slightly shallow sound. The song featuring the Flints, Mannequin Love, it kind of feels like nothing after hearing Dear Alan, which I feel they both fall into a similar lane musically. The feature on Mannequin Love feeling pointless after having Tame Impala, they're quite similar, so why bother? But Dear Alan just blows this song away with its careful arpeggiator that slowly fills up with these funky bass lines and great harmonies. Partway through, you're left with this arpeggiated, almost naked sawtooth or square wave that speeds up into this crash of like beautiful sound. Such a good song on the track, one of my favorites I think. Brilliant. Then on to the second half of the album. The tone of the album from here takes a bit of a change from electro house to what I would say is like 80s sci-fi horror almost, with the song Moonlight Rendez-Vous. I feel like I understand the kind of song they were trying to make, like a romantic, dark, sci-fi Vangelis type track. I don't particularly mind it, but it just feels really out of place for some reason. Like, it just doesn't belong on this album. Not sure it really finds a spot here at all. The next two songs from here have this really similar sort of glitchy feel to them, feeling slightly more retro and minimal, more crunchy. I don't particularly mind them, but they're nothing really special. Like, nothing jumps out at you. They're just really sort of background music tracks. The last stretch of the album, with the last two features, Miguel and Thundercat. The song Saturnine featuring Miguel is completely carried by his voice, which is quite unfortunate because he's doing like such a good job vocally compared to this instrumentation that feels like it's struggling to keep up with him, and it just doesn't have this like consistent flow, feeling kind of choppy and just doesn't really meld well with his vocals. On the other hand, the song The End, aptly named the last song on the album, featuring Thundercat, starts off really heavy, really fast paced, really nice, mixed in with these keys and this sort of wow shaped bass line, and then everything kind of drops off partway through the song, leaving you with this sharp lead solo, and then Thundercat's vocals come in. Always great to hear his voice because he's so good. I really enjoy listening to him anyway, ending in this really dramatic climax of sound. Such a good song to end the album on with. It's a shame because I think the start and the end were really great. It's just sort of everything in between is either hit or miss. The whole album is well mixed in terms of sound and instrumentation, but this doesn't fix the overall problems. We hear glimpses of Justice here and there, maybe to satisfy that itch. It's almost like they're trying to bring out their sound and then they get a bit too scared and tone it down a bit. I wanted this album to be way darker, way heavier. I wanted to feel something other than wishful thinking. Their old album gave me these whole list of emotions, but now I'm just feeling like, yeah, it's fine. It's cool, whatever. Again, I actually don't think this album's awful, and I actually enjoyed a lot of it. Perhaps the features could have been better. So yeah, with all that, I still think I want to give this album like a 6 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Did you enjoy it? Let me know below. Thank you for sticking on this journey with me. I know, you know, it's slow and steady, but we're getting there. Tell me what you think I should review next, and I probably will. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, goodbye.